Welcome back to Newstalk for this half hour. I'm joined by Kim Thompson from Healthy Transformations, and she is going to talk to us about nutrition, diet, and everything else that comes with right after the holidays. All that overeating, it's the last thing you want to hear about, but how to keep yourself on track and fit and eating well. We were just talking during the break about with this time of year comes all the fresh produce and the local farms and things of that nature.
Absolutely. That is definitely one area that I think we should take advantage of in our area. Having all the local farms here with lots of color, lots of vegetables, lots of fruit. As we just saw in Mr. Food, we're talking about color. The plate should always look like a rainbow. This is probably nothing new. Most people are familiar with that, but it's just incorporating it into everyday life that's important.
And around here, I mean, there's so many farms around here. People may not realize you can get local produce. There's farmers markets. There's stores that get their food from local growers. So you can get that real fresh food.
Absolutely.
Right here.
Absolutely. Even the local grocery stores do carry a lot of things from the local farmers. So you just have to look for it, maybe ask for it. But we do. You're absolutely right. We have a ton of local farmers here that will really give you the freshest food that you can get.
All right. And we've got some callers on the line, so we'll get right to it. Hello, caller. You're on the air with Kim.
Yes. I have a question. I read an article that vitamins need to be eaten with something with fat in order to be worth something. And I was wondering, this vitamin water, is that really worth the money you pay for it?
Well, so two-part question. Not all vitamins need to be taken with fat. What needs to be taken with fat are the fat-soluble vitamins, such as your vitamin D, your vitamin E. Those things definitely, from an absorption standpoint, need to be eaten with a meal. But some are going to be better without a meal. Some it doesn't really matter. As far as the second part of the question, the vitamin water, I generally don't suggest it. It's basically real water is the way to go. Sometimes the vitamin waters can also be filled with some artificial sweeteners or additional sugars and things like that we just don't need.
Okay, go with the regular water. There you go. We got another caller on the line. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Go right ahead.
I was wondering if there's a certain kind of food to lose weight.
A certain kind of what?
Food, I think she said, to lose weight. So I guess more in terms of particular foods people should be sticking to if they are looking to lose some weight.
So one of my favorite authors, Michael Pollan, basically makes a very simple statement of eating food, not too much, mostly from plants. So to kind of sum things up, think about foods that are actually food and not a food-like substance. So for instance, an apple instead of a cookie, which is a food-like substance. Getting a lot of your food from plants is actually very beneficial. That's how we really were designed. So nuts and seeds, whole grains, fruits, vegetables. There is not a miracle food, a miracle cure, a miracle pill out there. It really comes down to balance. The body needs balance to function.
And I don't remember if it was him or another author that I had heard who had said the way to decide what you're going to eat if you're trying to eat healthy is think about what your great-grandparents and your great-great-grandparents ate, and if it wasn't around for them, don't eat it yourself. Now, do you agree with that?
Absolutely. That is him. And matter of fact, I was just talking to my grandmother about it yesterday over Easter dinner, how she grew up on a farm, and all the food that she had was very fresh and most of the time gotten that day. And when she had to actually start shopping in a grocery store, it was a little foreign to her. So yes, his concept is don't eat something your grandmother wouldn't recognize as food.
And a lot of that constitutes things like processed foods, I'm guessing, boxed foods, things like that.
Yeah, so typically speaking, when you're in a grocery store, shop the perimeter. That's where your fresh foods are going to be. That's where you're going to avoid the processing and the preservatives in order to keep things on a shelf. So if you keep the general perimeter as a guideline for where most of your food should come from, that will assist in the weight loss.
All right, we got another caller on the line. Oh, they hung up. All right, never mind then. We thought we had another caller. All right, well, functional medicine was another topic that you were talking about during the break that you wanted to speak to.
Yes, functional medicine, really most people are familiar with this concept. The term might just be a little new. So it's along the terms of lifestyle medicine, and where people would hear this most commonly is on things like the Dr. Oz show.
Oh, okay.
This is what Dr. Oz is talking about when he talks about the diet and lifestyle component to treating health and really overcoming the chronic illnesses. So that's what functional medicine is about. It's about the preventative care. It's very patient-centered, and it's really getting to the root of any problems instead of covering up the symptoms.
Are you finding that a lot of things, especially as we go on, it seems you're hearing more and more about things like obesity and diabetes and other diseases, and they're things that could be prevented if we start early enough and start working on diets that you recommend?
You got it. There's some sayings in the functional medicine world that our genes haven't changed, but our environment has. So just start thinking about the foods that you're putting into your body and how it may be resulting in some of these chronic illnesses.
All right, Kim Thompson, thank you so much for joining us. Very
Thank you.
enlightening. We appreciate it. Don't go anywhere, folks. We have news to go coming up after the break.